Well, the reason I brought up the marketing in the first place is because I went into this film expecting a movie about a crazy good driver who gets into these insane situations on the road, weaved into a very compelling and smart story. You know, it's not like a Fast and Furious situation, but something, you know, grounded and real and something you could really get lost in. But as soon as we reach the scene where he's in the hotel with that girl and they're ambushed, and I don't want to like spoil everything, but something happens.
Explodes.
Something
all
happens
over the bathroom,
and that is exactly where I'm just out of the movie, like instantaneous. I can't remember the last time I've watched a movie and I've just been brought out of a movie so fast.
Well, to be fair, you don't see that every day.
The CGI was, I mean,
I think they actually just filled a bag with meat.
it looks way too fake for that. And like I mean, if it's going for some sort of over-the-top Tarantino thing, it failed completely, because they start the movie in this real world, and then all of a sudden we're Kill Bill, you know?
Let's talk about that story around the bits and pieces, though, because one thing that I was surprised by was that I liked, you know, the twists and turns of this. You know, this thing about who's got the money and that sort of thing. I thought it was a good little crime story, which I wasn't expecting. I was expecting all this brooding, right? But I especially loved Albert Brooks. Yeah.
Albert Brooks is great.
Yeah, and you know, okay, here's the thing. Here's the thing I think you're missing about the elevator thing and everything like that. I think it's one of the recurring motifs of the movie. I think it's contrasting tenderness with violence. That's now hear me out, because we think that he's, you know, this kind of like wounded, soft-spoken gentleman, like, you know, oh, hi, I'm Ryan Gosling, and you know, you got a cute kid and everything, and you know, stop. But in that scene, you know, he has his first kiss with that girl, and it's a very tender moment, and it's like he's sending her off that way, right? And then again with Albert Brooks, who does something that starkly contrasts brutality and like this weird tenderness, and it's very unsettling, and it's like every dark side of this has a like a silver lining, if you get my drift, and vice versa. And I think that's part of what the movie's trying to say.
Great. But we need a character in a story, and there isn't one here.
Well, you know, I'll come right back to you there with...
What?
A story that has no characters, and that is... It's right there on your shelf.
Uh-huh.
Right in the middle there.
You can't think of one. See, that's the problem.
Well, it's a big...
That is the problem.
It's a rare thing.
It's a big... That's because
Ryan
it's a big
Gosling
problem.
is a character in this movie.
Really,
he has character traits.
Sure, but they don't fulfill into anything that's actually a real person.
I thought it was a stripped down...
he doesn't make any sense, because it might be a great idea for him to really care about this woman and the kid, and that would motivate him to do all these violent things. But the way he does them they have nothing to do with the title of the goddamn movie, for one thing.
Yes, they do, actually.
No, they don't.
Because the safety of those people is what drives him.
No. Don't even try to turn this thing around about a guy who tries to be a badass in a scorpion jacket.
The scorpion and the frog, you see? It's in people's nature sometimes to do dark things.
Where is the frog in this movie?
Albert Brooks is the frog.
Wow.
It's
revelatory.
It's in the movie.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, like, you know, you'd have to know what that means.
Uh-huh.
I mean, didn't you see when his neck sack was just inflating with every word that he was saying? I just
Right, I forgot. Albert Brooks is an amphibian, but okay.
Albert
I
Brooks,
want to
by the way,
mention
is very good in this movie.
I really like him, and I like Bryan Cranston, and I think the scenes they have together.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I say when I say the scene.
Like, I mean, here's the other thing is that Albert Brooks is on the surface this hands dirty individual who's running this crime operation, but on the other hand, he's just so weary about it,
Sure.
and he wishes
Albert
he had
Brooks,
something legitimate, and vice versa.
Albert Brooks is a character in this movie.
Yeah, but I think
he's not the main character.
No, but I think that Ryan Gosling is serving sort of the opposite side of that contrast.
He needs to be a character either way. He doesn't make sense. And here's another example. When he's trying to get revenge on a certain individual, I don't want to say anything, but it rhymes with Don Merleman.
Oh, Don Merleman. He owns the trophy shop downtown.
You got it. And so what he does is he works at one of his other jobs is being a stuntman, right? For movies. So he goes to the movie prosthetics trailer and he grabs one of these prosthetic masks that go over your whole head. And I'm like, oh, that's actually kind of clever. You know, conceal your identity by using something that's actually attainable to this character. So he puts it on. He walks up to the restaurant.
Little known to you, this would be the art portion of the film.
Sorry, but it's dumb. And here's why. He puts it on. He walks up to the window. He looks and no one sees him. He goes back, waits in the car. He follows them when they leave. And then shit goes down. And he never needed that mask. Ever once. Not once ever.
But metaphorically, he needed it.
That is why this movie is garbage.
But you see, he's wearing the mask that he normally puts onto himself, right? But he lost it when he put his face through that, his foot through that face.
Are you
So he puts the mask back on to be like the police officer, which is what the mask was, right? And so he's masking his own, you know what I'm trying to say.
I know you're trying to say shit. Like, nobody has ever thought about this but you.
No, I did. I'm pretty sure what they were going for.
That cannot possibly be right.
And the music, which is so good.
It is good.
And that moment when you see him through the window, and he looks through, and he sees something, and deep down.
This is exactly why this movie is bad, because listen to what it did to my friend here. You know
deep down
something
in your heart
about that. You know about
a good movie beating inside you, replacing your heart with itself.
Oh my god. In 30 minutes or less, when Jesse Eisenberg puts on that ski mask, he's not really putting on a mask. He's just taking away that moment that he lost his mask when he got in a fight with the dude from Community. Or Parks and Recreation, sorry. And
oh sure, they all look the same to you.
Well, they are the same. And it puts on the it's terrible. It's drivel.
It's pretty good.
It's
well, you can't spell drivel without I'm making your point for you. Sorry.
You. That's a great way to go out on this. I'm Desmond Burrisma.
I'm Max Johnson. This has been It's a Good Movie.
It is not a good movie.
Though it is
not
not good.